what a game, man. Alabama survives against South Carolina 27-25 in a game that, look, I'm going to try to not be as negative on this video as I probably could be. Well, maybe I will. We'll see what happens as we get into it. But look, Alabama really shot themselves in the foot a lot. It just so happened South Carolina had more rounds in the clip, and they decided that they also wanted to shoot themselves in the foot. This is a game that you absolutely could have lost, but, you know, as bad as the defense was at times, they were able to force a couple of turnovers, 4 total turnovers for them, including that, game-winning interception at the end, which really, it was just an absolutely terrible throw by Sellers and, a terrible throw by him on the 2-point conversion try. There's a lot of things in this game, man, that you could talk about that really lost South Carolina the game rather than Alabama winning the game. I definitely think you survived this game. You did not go out there and really take what should have been yours and end up winning the game. Now, you did win the game, but it was very, very ugly. So I'm going to try to not be as negative on today's reaction video, but we'll see how it goes as we get into it. Make sure you guys are subscribed, though, right here to the Alabama Football Report. We've got pretty much daily videos for you guys almost every single day of the week. There's not many days that we don't have videos. Also live for every single Alabama game for our Alabama football watch parties. So do not miss out. Join the community. We had a lot of fun during our watch party today, even though my heart did skip a beat multiple times. So make sure you guys hit that sub button for me right now. My first takeaway for this game. Man, I hate to say it, but Jalen Milroe was not very good in this game, man. There were a lot of times where he just did not look comfortable in the pocket. And, granted, South Carolina was able to get some pressure on him. But, man, really what the biggest thing that just made me just throw my hands up and scream at the sky was that, safety that he ended up giving up. You just got to give the ball away, man. You got to get the ball away. You see that coming. There's nothing you can do about it. Just throw it away. Live to see another down. You were up 14-zip with about, a minute and 54 seconds, I think, left to go before halftime. And you get the safety. South Carolina goes down there, score a touchdown. You get the safety. That's 9 points there. And then Alabama comes back, and we'll talk about the timeout on 3rd and 20. I just don't understand it. But then Jalen Milroe throws another interception there, and South Carolina is able to go down there and end up kicking another field goal before halftime. So there are a lot of things in this game that with Jalen Milroe that he did not look comfortable. He definitely did not play his best game. But look, at the end of the day, you got the win. He had another touchdown rushing. He had another touchdown 2 touchdowns through the air. He was 16 of 23 for 209 yards, so definitely could have been worse. I'm not going out there. I'm not saying, put Ty Simpson in the game. We had people in the chat saying put Ty Simpson in the game, and I was never really there for that. But, definitely a down game from Jalen Milroe. Made some plays where he had to. He hit Jeremy Bernard at the end there to score the touchdown, but he also missed Ryan Williams in the first half. That would have been a really long touchdown for Alabama. I think that was on 2nd or 3rd down, something like that. Alabama ended up punting on that drive. So, he could have been better, but I'm not here to crucify him whatsoever. So, grade Alabama against South Carolina today. They didn't play great, but they didn't play awful. You didn't play bad enough to lose the game. For me, it's probably a C+. You won the game, but definitely a lot of things that you're going to have to work on. It is the pinned comment of today's video, so if that ad comes here on YouTube, that's totally fine. Take advantage of it. Go down there and let me know. Grade Alabama, A, B, C, D, or F for today's game against South Carolina. Takeaway number 2, defense was up and down. And I say up and down, originally I typed this out as the defense is still really bad. But at the end of the day, you got 4 turnovers in this game. 3 fumbles from South Carolina, as well as that interception. So it definitely could have been worse. And you did a little bit better on 3rd down, especially in that first half. But the second half, it was a little bit different. South Carolina ended up being 7 for 15 on third downs. 5 of those 7 third down conversions came on one drive. So overall, you did a little bit better on third down. Obviously, it's a little bit south of 50%, conversion percentage there for South Carolina. But, you got beat a lot through the air. There were a lot of times where you got beat, but, South Carolina, Lenora Sellers end up missing passes. You look specifically to that 2-point conversion try. He threw it out of bounds like it was 1st and goal. Don't know what he's doing there. I understand he's under pressure, but the receiver is just absolutely wide open. So, there's still a lot to work on, specifically in the secondary for Alabama. They end up surviving in this game, but at the end of the day, the defense has to improve, man. South Carolina had 374 total yards in this game, 242 through the air, and 132 on the ground. So, look, when you play Tennessee next week, I just have so many fears that Nico Iamaleava is going to go out there and torch you. I hope I'm wrong, but, man, it's going to be a long week of preparation, and you have got to get better on the defensive side of the ball than you are right now. Today's show is presented by Game Time. Look, guys, Game Time is the only ticketing app that I use. Game Time even has a new feature now called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets to see your favorite teams play live even easier. Game Time Picks filters out all the fluff to show you only the incredible deals on great seats so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. Game Time Picks is just curation that makes it easier to save more on sports, concerts, comedy, theater, and so much more. Prices on the Game Time app go down the closer you get to the start of the event. So if you're just hanging around Tuscaloosa and, last minute want to go to the game, you can do that with Game Time. If you find tickets in the same section and row for less, Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. They also have all-in pricing. You toggle this feature on, and it shows you the total up front, so there are no surprise fees at checkout. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app today, create an account, and redeem promo code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Check out GameTime.co for last-minute tickets. Terms do apply, but again, create an account and redeem promo code CHATSPORTS. That's CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. That link will be in the comment section and the description of today's video. Download Game Time today, because what time is it? It's game time. All right, takeaway number 3 here for this Alabama win over South Carolina. Coaching accountability, man. Look, I'm not someone to come out here and say, the coaching staff has to be fired or anything like that. I don't think anybody's on the hot seat, quite yet, Kane Womack anyways. But look, man, the first thing that I really want to point out is that 3rd and 20 right before halftime. You call a timeout after a sack. You can just go into halftime, still have the lead there, and not give up. Or I guess you still had, the lead at halftime. But, South Carolina had 9 points. You go down there, you call that timeout on 3rd and 20 instead of just letting the clock roll out. And Jalen Milroe throws an interception on the very next play. And Kalen DeBoer, during his post-game press conference, talked about the fact that he has a lot of confidence in this offense that, look, they can score touchdowns in 2 plays. And I get that to an extent. But coming off a sack, it's 3rd and 20. I get Alabama's got a couple timeouts there. They can get half of it back, maybe, and then throw a deep ball to the end zone, and maybe something happens. But in my opinion, right there, man, you just let it go to the half. That allowed South Carolina to get 3 more points and made this game a whole lot closer than really it should have been. And then also on the defensive side of the ball, Kane Womack, I still don't think they really made a whole hell of a lot of adjustments in this game until the end, until that last, drive. They started bringing some pressures, and, that worked to an extent, but South Carolina was still driving down your throats at the end of that ball game. Just a really bad throw by Lenora Sellers, and the receiver gave up on the play. So at the end of the day, it could have been one-on-one against Amani Jackson. Jump ball, who knows what happens. That's the what-if game if you want to play it. it doesn't matter. Alabama got the win at the end of the day, but there are still a lot of things with this coaching staff that I don't think they're, really making adjustments on the defensive side of the ball. There are a lot of things on the offensive side of the ball. You tried to kind of get the running game going a little bit, but, Jamarian Miller had 12 carries for 42 yards, 3.5 yards per carry. They just, weren't really mixing a lot of things up. And so, look, this coaching staff, as much as everybody wants to talk about the players, this coaching staff has got to get it together, man, because these close games are going to end up killing us. I understand Alabama won the game, and I don't want to, overly critique a win because we knew Kalen DeBoer, his last couple of years at Washington, won a lot of close games. And this is a team in South Carolina under Shane Beamer that they can beat the best of the teams out there. They beat Clemson and Tennessee a couple of years ago in a season that they went 8-4. So, they definitely fight for Shane Beamer. So, at the end of the day, it's positive that we won. But this coaching staff has got to get it together. So let me know your one-word reaction to Alabama's win over South Carolina. Mine, whew, if that even is technically a word. But let me know your one-word reaction in the comments section right now. Takeaway number 4, your third down defense was a little bit better today. In the first half, South Carolina was 0 for 5 on third downs, and for the entire game, they were 7 for 15. And like I said earlier, 5 of those 7 came on one drive. So, obviously you don't want to keep extending that. The penalties, at times, we'll talk about that here in a second. Extended drives as well. But I thought you did a little bit better on third down, especially in that first half. The second half kind of, got away from you a little bit. They were able to move the ball and extend some drives. But overall, I thought you were a little bit better on third down. You take out that one drive where they were 5 for 5 on third downs. You end up being, 2 for 10 the rest of the way. So, you did a little bit better than what you did last week, obviously. But still, 50% right there, just under 50%, 45, whatever you want to call it, whatever that math is. At the end of the day, you still got to do a little bit better. And Alabama on the offensive side of the ball was not really able to extend drives at all. 5 for 11 for Alabama on the offensive side of the ball on third downs. I do think this is one of the worst games so far. Really, this is probably the worst game offensively for Alabama. And you end up going out there and you win the game too. So that's a positive thing. And, there's a lot of little nitpicky things that you can really point at, but you get the win. That's fine with me. Takeaway number 5 here. The penalties are still killing you though, man. The penalties are still killing you. Alabama had 7 penalties today for 66 yards. You had a penalty on Caleb Odom on a kickoff. What are we doing, man? Unsportsmanlike conduct, unnecessary roughness, whatever it was. Didn't really see it, live during the game. They didn't show a replay of it or anything like that. But, you start South Carolina, in, some decent, territory there. And, you had the roughing the passer penalty on Quandarius Robinson again, which, man, I hate those roughing the passer penalties because at the end of the day, man, his hand hit his face mask. It's not like he came in there and he pile drived him to the ground or anything like that. But you just got to be aware, man. You just got to be a little bit more aware with that. And there were just multiple times where he had stupid penalties just over and over and over again that against a team like Tennessee, they're going to beat you. If you end up playing Texas, they're going to beat you if you do stupid things like that. So Alabama definitely getting away with a lot of things. You got wide open receivers running down the field. You've got, these penalties that continuously, extend drives and keep your defense out there on the field. So Alabama, look, it is officially Tennessee week. We got to move on. It's the win here. Trying my best not to be negative about a win. You definitely could. There's a lot of things out there. Jalen Milroe takes the really bad safety. He takes a bad sack as well in the first half. So a lot of negative things that you could talk about, but, we can try to be as positive as we can after win. I think that is the best way to go. You got Tennessee next, and they are definitely going to be a handful because, look, you still can't stop the run. South Carolina today had 132 yards rushing. You got burnt through the air a bunch, so definitely going to have to be better against Nico Iamaleava, Josh Heupel, and that Tennessee Volunteers offense.